You are about to learn how to give the perfect Valentine's Day back massage. With the help of this video, you are going to know how to get into all of the knots and the aches and the pains and the sweet spots on your partner's back and give them a massage that has them melting, has them oohing and eyeing and just begging for more. And you can just take that and turn it into any kind of romantic experience that you like. And of course, you can make Valentine's Day any day of the year and learn something together that is both such an amazing massage to receive, but also such a pleasure to give. And if you're inspired by what you're learning here, they all come from my latest book and video course, Couples Time Massage. So I'm going to post some links down below so that you can check that out as well. By the way, I'm giving this on a mat on the ground, which you can do by putting yoga mats and blankets stacked on top of each other or doing it on a really thick carpet. You can also do this on a bed. Just before we start, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell so you get notifications every time I post a new video. All right, let's learn. So we are ready to go with our Valentine's back massage. You can see that my partner is set up with these bolsters underneath her shoulders and underneath her head. You can roll up blankets to replace these bolsters, but the idea is that we are creating some support so that they can breathe while they're lying face down, and that their shoulders and arms are supported as well, which then also helps to support the back. One other thing that I want to do is get a sense of the pressure that my partner likes. So before they lie down, just take a moment and ask them, like on a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of pressure would they like? And then do a little squeeze test. So squeeze their forearm, squeeze their shoulder, and make sure, like if they like a 7 out of 10, that your 7 matches their 7. And once you have that knowledge, then you are good to go. And in our back massage, we're going to set up in what's called a warrior stance. And so let's just take a moment, identify where is the spine, and then our focus are the muscles on either side of the spine. So if you trace the spine, of course that's going to be like bony bumpiness going all the way down. Then on either side there are little hilltops. And so our focus are those hilltops, and if we keep going all the way to the bottom of the back, it flattens out, and that is the sacrum. And so that is a bone, it's a flat bone, and it's actually really nice to press on the sacrum. So the way we're going to start is just put a flat hand on the sacrum and just rock. Rock that sacrum back and forth. And you can really spend a lot of time doing this. And in fact, already, just by doing this technique, you are bringing tremendous relaxation to the body. From here, we'll make and use our fists. And when I make those fists, I'm not tightening up or bunching up. I'm keeping my hands and my fists pretty loose. And what using my fist does for me is that it helps me to save my hands. So I like to alternate between using my palms and using my fists, and in the lower parts of the back, I'll typically start by using my fists. So let's start on the sacrum. Circle on one side and a circle on the other side. One side at a time, circle and circle. And then I can lean to one side and let my fist sink in and lean to the other side. And it's about now that you can also check in with your partner and see how this is feeling. And so we got a sense of that pressure at the start, but then if we keep checking in, then we know we're doing things safely and comfortably and lovingly. So how's this feeling so far?
Great.
She said it feels great. And then I can even ask, would you like any more pressure?
Yeah, I can put a little more pressure.
So a little more pressure. So how do I do that for my body? That as I sink in, and now I'm actually pressing in with both fists in the same spot at the same time, I'll just rock my body forward a little more. I'll pause a little longer. Some combination of more rocking and more pausing is how you create more pressure in a way that is just easy on your body. And so I'm moving now up to that like curve in the low back. I'm doing the exact same thing. Soft fists, circles on one side to really help relax these muscles. And in fact, these muscles are some of the hardest working ones, and people don't even know it. You know, people often feel it in their lower back or on their shoulders, but this area can be really sensitive. So we really want to start with those light circles to begin with. Lightly pressing from side to side. Give the spine time to relax and adjust into what you're doing, and it will feel so, so good. And you can hear it, the oohs and the ahs. It's wonderful. So side to side presses, and then at the end I'll rock forward and press at that deeper level that she was asking for. So part of a loving Valentine's, or really anytime couples massage, is to enjoy the journey. It's not only about the destination, about that deep pressure that she wants. It's really taking my time, being a listener. In fact, the more we listen in our massage, the more we become even better listeners in our relationship. The more that they feel us and they know that we are supporting them and here for them. So taking your time with lighter pressure, with easing in, you're communicating that effortlessly. As I'm getting into the upper half of the back, so the back rounds in a different way. It curves down in the lower back and it curves around in the top. And here I might decide to switch my hands and go to palming, give my fists a break. So I started with a few fist circles, and now I'm doing side to side palming, and then rock forward and press. And release. And I'll just stay in that same spot for one or two more nice presses. And then I can go up to the shoulders. Again, that light circles to begin with. As I'm making my circles with her body, I am running into boniness. As long as I am mostly on muscles, as long as I'm starting lighter and I'm not pressing on the spine, the boniness I'm running into is on her scapula, on her shoulder blades. So I'm just learning about her body as I go, and the majority of my pressure is still on the muscles, and it's perfectly fine to press on the bones of the shoulders as long as I'm not pressing on the spine. So, pressing my hands on both sides of the back, going up and down. This is the start of my massage. It's a great way to get to know what's going on in her back, a great way to help her to relax. And then from here, let's go to one side. And we're going to work the rest of our massage pretty much on one side at a time. And so when I set up for doing it on one side, again, I want to start off with a good rock. Let that sacrum rock. Turn my body. And if I draw a straight line from her sacrum outwards, I actually run right into the hip. So in that area, stack your hands, your palms are on top of each other, and we're going to pull and push. Pull and push. So how does that work? My fingers go around the edge where the hip is. I'm going to rock back and pull, and just pause there for a moment and let there be like a little stretch and elongation there. Release, put my palms right around now where the sacrum is, and push down so that I'm pushing the muscles of the sacrum down and away from the body. Pulling and pushing in that area helps to release tension in the lower back, and it works wonderfully. At any point, I can go back to my rocking. It's like melting. It's like sending those waves of relaxation at any time. So I'm gonna interchange between my rocking and my pulling and my pushing. Good, and towards the end, I'll pause and let my hands just kind of rest there just a little longer. Let the therapeutic, loving effects penetrate that much more deeply. Working with the intelligence of her body to help let go, to help ease in, to help it do what it knows exactly how to do, which is heal itself and treat itself. So now I've moved my hand a little higher, so I'm not doing the pulling and pushing anymore. My fingers are not going to do anything. I'm on the hilltops, and I'm going to start with circles. So I'm making it with one hand so you can see, but truthfully, the way I love to do it is with two hands, so that my top hand is helping my bottom hand, and that means less work for my body. And then a little rock and press. And as I do this, when I rock and press, so I'm starting with the circles, you can see me rock and press. I'm just going to let my top hand push into my bottom hand, and I'm going to push, not just straight down, but naturally what happens is my pressure first goes down, but then it kind of goes out a little bit. So you feel like you're moving the muscles away from the spine, just a little bit. It's a fraction of a millimeter. But that spaciousness is really appreciated and felt in the body. That's where things get gummed up, tensed up, where the stresses of the day accumulate. So as we make our circles and we push in, just push the muscles down, and naturally a little bit of awareness, helping to create bigger pathways of circulation and movement. And from here, we're going to have a seat. So, got a bolster. Depending on the size of your partner, you can sit on a bolster, you can sit on a blanket. In this case, I actually have enough room that I can sit right on the bolster that she's on, just behind her body. And from here, I'm going to put the flat side of my forearm right here on the back of her shoulder. And this is sweet honey. So when you use your forearm, you can use the middle, you can use the part close to your elbow where the bone is flat. And just like we were doing with our hands, you want to let your pressure be soft and light to begin with. Gentle circles. So I'm just sitting comfortably, my leg is right next to her. You find your way to sit comfortably, and I'm working across the body. So if her spine is here, I'm going on the other side of her spine. So that's why I want to sit closely. So I just rock in and out. That's what I've been doing to start with, and making gentle circles with my forearm. And so in my mind, my intention, my feeling at the beginning here is, let me just keep on melting away tension and stress, offering up softness and love to her body and to her. Taking my time with it. And as things soften, and you will feel that if those muscles feel ropey or tight, just making these circles just a little bit below the skin surface, but not too deep, that whole area starts to soften and melt. And then I can just place my forearm in the exact same spot and start to rock my whole body a little bit more, and now I'll sink in a little more. And release. And sinking in. And so right now I'm using that fleshy middle. Sinking in and out. And maybe right next door to where I was sinking in and out, I feel another little tight area, a little ropey muscle, a little mound of tension. So I go there and I make my circles. And then I start sinking in and out, in and out. And then at some point, I can sink in and I can start to pause a little longer. I can even maybe give a little roll. So what a roll looks like is once I've been sinking in, I just turn my hand up to the ceiling. And And that'll help me get into even more of the little nooks and crannies of the muscles and the tight areas. And then play with the angle of your arm a little bit. If I'm in the same spot but I change the angle, I will actually apply pressure on those muscles in an entirely different way and bring even more joy to my partner. If something feels like hard to reach, another little trick, wiggling. So now I'm getting in there more with the side of my elbow, and when you get in with the side of your elbow, it helps you become even more sensitive to what's going on. And so wiggling helps me to do that without being too fast, too abrupt in her body. Melting is my first goal. When I feel that melting, when I feel some softening happen, essentially that gives me permission to go in a little more. And of course I can always ask how she's feeling. Ask her if she's ready for a little more. That communication, especially between your lover, your couple, your partner, it's so appreciated. How's this feeling for you?
Mm-hmm. Good.
Good. Would you like a little more, a little deeper, or is this good pressure for you?
That's good pressure.
Good. So this is good pressure for her. So I'll just take my time, no rush here, and just keep seeing where can I find more of those sweet spots. So here's another one of these little tight mounds, and here's where I can make my soft, gentle circles first. Go back to the melting. What's this other hand doing? Well, right now this other hand is just hanging out. However, this hand that's making the circles, if it starts to get in pretty close to the spine, one thing this hand can do is literally put my fingers on the spine as a border so that I know that I'm not going to press on her spine. If I want to get close to her spine, I make sure I'm on the outside of those fingers. Now let's say you're a smaller person massaging a bigger person. Your partner's a lot bigger than you. So you're sinking in with your elbow and he or she are like, honey, I need a little more. But if you give any more, you're gonna feel like you're tiring out your arm. So that other hand can go on your forearm and help. And that would be another great thing that your other hand can do. So, to review, we're finding good places where we can sink in, where it feels like I'm on muscles. I'm going to start with circles. I'm going to softly sink in and out. My first pauses of sinking in are just a second or two, and then as things soften and melt a little more, I can let my pauses get a little longer. I can add a little rolling. And as I roll, if I feel more little mounds or little tense areas, well, that tells me, okay, let me move my forearm to that spot and do it again. And if I want to help out my first hand, let me put my second one on top of my forearm to help me sink in. And when I'm done, circles, sweeping. Call this sweeping. And here we are as I'm making them. It's right here in the back of her heart. And what a wonderful way to connect with my partner, just making circles at the heart. We're actually going to come back to that in just a second, because we can always make these circles, always send some good love to the heart. Before we finish, let's also give those shoulders a little squeeze. Now, if the arms are too high up, you can always take a moment to bring the arms back down so that these muscles feel soft and relaxed. And my squeezing motion, I am using my hands for this, but I feel like it all comes from my core. I have a saying which is rock first, touch second. So What that means is that you want to feel movement from your core as you rock in with your fingers. And then even as you rock back, you want to use your fingers to pull back, move your core back so that, again, your core is helping your hands. Nothing has to tire out. And just go with as much pressure as feels comfortable for you. Do that where you can reach around the shoulders. And we got even more relaxation. Maybe we want to go back to a few more of these presses with both hands. Now, of course, when you're practicing with your partner, when you want to do the other side, we'll just take a walk to the other side, do all the same things on one side. So you can go back and rewind this video and just do it a second time the exact same way. But for now, we're going to finish off with these circles. Circles at the heart, circles for the whole back. And then a nice moment to breathe together. To offer even more love and connection and joy and appreciation for my partner. And there you have it. Your loving, beautiful Valentine's back massage.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you. How's that?
Oh man, it feels really good.
Awesome. One thing I hope you'll take away from this video is how accessible giving high quality massage really is, and how you can do it in a way that is so easy and such a pleasure for your body, while you truly do get into all of the sweet spots on your partner and on the people that you care about, and that you play with it and that you stay curious with it, and you give it maybe not only to your lover or your wife or your husband or your significant other, but that you give it to people in your family and give it to people in your life and see just how powerful it is. And whatever your goals with it, if you want to keep on learning, I am here to support you. As I mentioned, I wrote a book called Couples Thai Massage where I explain in great detail not only how to give all the techniques in this video, but how to give way more stuff for the shoulders, for the neck, for the feet, for the head, for the back, for the legs as well. So you can check that out by clicking on the link below. There's also a course that goes along with that. And for those of you who are really ready to take your knowledge to the next level, I've got two other courses. One is totally free, and it is called my Thai Massage Challenge, where you learn how to give a complete neck, shoulder, and upper back massage. And then I also have Transformational Thai Massage, which is a certification, mentoring, and coaching program, not only for professionals, but really for people who just want to invest and get really, really great at giving Thai massage. For now, if you have any questions, please post your comments down below. And I just want to wish you and your partner amazing, amazing massages. And I look forward to hearing from you real soon.